Are you somebody who life just seems to happen to you, where you constantly are in struggle, you're on the hamster wheel, there's just seems to be condition after condition after condition? There's a way to move from life is happening to me to intentional living, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Today, I want to help you identify one of the things that can be getting in your way and tell you how to change that forever. Most people on our planet today are operating in a victim consciousness where life is happening to them. So if you're somebody who's struggling right now, you're on the hamster wheel, you can't get ahead, pay close attention to this. And here's the thing, we are all one thought away from living in victim energy. So this sounds like this: life is happening to me. If you're somebody who feels like things are constantly happening to you, the conversation around the dinner table at the end of the day is, guess what happened to me at the grocery store? Guess what happened to me on the ride home in traffic today? Guess what my boss said to me or did to me today? Did you hear what's happening in the economy? Did you hear what the government's doing? And it's constantly, life is coming at you, and you feel like you're a victim of other people's choices and decisions, and you really have no control over your own life. Why this is a problem is if we feel like life is happening to us, we're powerless. We are simply a victim to our surroundings, to other people's agendas, and we become powerless to our circumstances and our situations and our environments. There's another way. When we start to become aware that life isn't happening to any one of us, life is happening through us. And as we start to wake up to this idea that I am a co-creator with life, and we begin to take responsibility for our lives and our circumstances, we regain our power. We can influence our environment. We can influence what's happening around us. And that is so much more empowering. And it really creates this freedom, because what it means is that no matter what's going on outside of me, I can live intentionally. I can create my own reality. One of the first places this starts is inside of our language. As you start to pay attention to the conversations that you're in, the language you're in, pay attention if it's a disempowering language or empowering language. Disempowering language would be, this is happening to me, I have to do this, I need to do this, I should do this. Again, we're in a disempowered state where we're giving the control to our conditions and our circumstances. More empowering language is, here's what I'm creating today. I get to do this. I love doing this. I'm choosing to do this. And you can see inside of that language, we're taking conscious control. We're coming from more of an empowered perspective. So noticing your language, noticing when you're in disempowering language, and what would it look like to choose more intentional language to live more intentionally and more from that place of power. When we're living in victim energy, we feel like we don't have control over our future, where it really depends what's happening in the economy, what's happening in the housing market. Our future is dependent on external circumstances. When we're living intentionally, the difference is we create our own reality, and the way that we do that is through having a vision. Asking yourself, what would you love to create in your life? Looking at your current results, seeing where you're not happy, and pay attention to that. And if it wasn't that, what would it be? If you could be, do, have anything you wanted, what would you love to create with your life? And right now, some of you are saying, yeah, Stacey, I've got to live in reality, right? I've got bills to pay and I have to be realistic. And I'm inviting you here to not be realistic. And when we're living intentionally, we really give ourselves permission to daydream, to understand that we can be, do, have anything we want, just not from victim energy. But when we live intentionally and we start having dreams and visions, why that's so powerful, When we're thinking from our dreams, when we start using language that's in harmony with our dreams, we start to attract to us a whole new reality. So as you're thinking about living more intentionally, asking that question, what would I love? Building a dream of your new reality, what you would like to create. And in the beginning, that feels uncomfortable because you have conditions, you have circumstances, but everything first starts with an idea. You've got to dream it up if it's ever going to exist. As you're living more intentionally, it can be very, very helpful to have role models for success. Notice who you're hanging out with. Usually our friends are struggling with the same things we're struggling with. Start looking for role models in your life, people who have accomplished the things that you want to accomplish. If they're in the type of relationship you want to be in, or maybe they're having the success in their business or their career, maybe they've accomplished some things with their health goals. Start looking for role models for success because success leaves clues. And the more you're hanging out with people who've accomplished the things that you want to accomplish, again, you'll start thinking differently, you'll start acting differently, and your results will change. Which brings me to this final piece around intentional living. As you're thinking about the results that you want to create, you have those role models. Now it's time to start paying attention to your daily habits. Do your daily habits match the reality that you want? If you were achieving those results, how would you be waking up in the morning? What actions would you be taking? What would you be thinking about? Who would you be hanging out with? And as we start to match our habits to our vision, that's how we move confidently in the direction of our dreams. When we're living in victim energy, life is happening to me, our actions usually match that. As you're starting to think about living more intentionally, there's things that version of you does differently. Start with some small habit changes that are more in alignment with what it is that you want to accomplish. And to help you stay accountable to those small habit changes that can create major results, we've created an accountability accelerator where it will support you in tracking the habits that are going to move you in the direction of your dream, take you from that victim energy, life is happening to me, to living more intentionally. Download that accountability accelerator to help you stay accountable to what's important to you. You are capable of so much more than you know. You truly can become anything that you want to be. And it starts by shifting our thinking, using that empowering language, having a vision, having role models for success, and then having habits that are a match to those realities. Take those steps and just imagine where you could be 1 year from now. I'm Stacey Berger. Here is to you living a life that you love.